when it was time to go for me to take a deal, I refused to take a deal, right? And I wanted to go to trial, and so my attorney was just looking at me like I was crazy. So he whipped out his cell phone, and he called my mom. He said, "Miss Renee, I'm gonna tell you right now, your son's gonna want to go to trial. He can beat the case, but he's not gonna beat the jury." He says, "It's number white people on that jury. It's a no-brainer. You need to talk to your son right now. If you want to see him again free on the streets, you need to talk to your son." Because I was hard-headed. I didn't want to take the case because I knew it was some bullshit, you know. And so I was in handcuffs, so I couldn't even talk. So he had to put the phone to my ear. And my mama just told me, she said, "Son, just take the case. Just you gonna come. You got a date." And so, and that was what convinced me to even take a deal. I had been going to jail in and out of my life, in and out of jail all my life. So it was like throwing a fish in water. So, you know, I understood. I understood the ebb and flow of the politics of prison. I knew can't use no joke. I can't gamble. I can't be involved in nothing out of pocket. And I had to carry myself in whatever I believe in. I just had to stand on it. And so by me knowing those ethics and those morals and having integrity, you know, I just came in and did what I was supposed to do. It was a lot of politics though. In the California prisons, you have the most segregated prison system that I believe exists, because you have the Norteños, the Northerners, Mexicans, you have the Southern Mexicans, you have Crips, you have Bloods, you have Bulldogs, you have the Aryan Brotherhood. It goes on and on, and each one of those have their own territory, their own ways of doing things, their own politics, on ethos, on culture, you name it, you know. And you got to be abreast of everything if you want to leave prison alive, because one misunderstanding could cost you your life. For 2.5 years, I waited for a bed space, and so I went from the hole at the prison that I was at to Corcoran Shoe. And when I got to Corcoran Shoe, you had to be classified and to be housed in the solitary confinement shoe of that prison. So when you go there, you go to classification. Of course, you got to be shackled from your ankles and your shoulders, and then you got the whole goon squad, the gang committee. They're there to, you know, escort you there because you are, you know, a part of you've been validated as a gang member, so they have to escort you everywhere you go, like a special escort. So here I am. I'm in classification. I'm shackled from head to foot. Goon squad is behind me, and they ask you, are you cool to be housed with anybody? And do you have any problems? No, I don't have any problems with anybody. Okay, so they cleared me, and so it's time to get a cellie now. So now I can get a cellie. First I couldn't get a cellie because I was a gang member. Now, since I'm in a shoe, I'm forced to get a cellie, because if I don't get a cellie, they're gonna take my TV that I can now get, and the other things I can get. So now I'm forced in a situation. I got to get a cellie, and so forth and so on. And they're all watching, and most of the dudes knew me, so they're banging on the wall on the door like, "Hey, bro, what's going on? You know, hey man, hey Ray Stone." And so they bring the guy out, and it's, like I said, it's the dude who actually killed Huey P. Newton. And so they asked, "Is it cool? Can you guys be compatible?" So you're in a situation where it's like, okay, all right, I got an out date. This dude don't. Everybody watching, even the goon squad watching. So If I say I don't want to go and cell with this dude, it's gonna look like I'm a sucker. Regardless, I want to go up in there or not. And so when he come out, I know him. He's a brother that I know. I mean, he like, Stone, man, what's going on? Man, I ain't had a celly in 2 years. Come on. So who am I to, say, hey, man, because regardless of what kind of crime you do, you still got human rights, I mean, you still got redeemable qualities, and the community had accepted him, so who am I? So I get there in the cell, and, and it's like, I know him, and he, actually the whole unit, the corridor, embracing me because it was a breath of fresh air. Here's a new dude coming, solid dude, ain't no piece of shit. And he's coming in, and he bringing some good energy, there. But it's like, being in that situation, being in the cell with that brother, it was like every time they would have like visitors or tourists or prison officials coming from different institutions, it was like they would always come to our cell. They would always hone in right there. The funny thing is that, when I left the cell with him, he got a new celly, and that celly ain't there. He ain't, that dude didn't make it. That dude got his neck broke, allegedly. Being in a hole was crazy because I actually doing 16 years and I was finna parole. So I petitioned the prison officials to get some type of re-entry and pre-parole classes. Like, hey, man, I did gone 16 years. Aren't you guys gonna give me some type of preparation to be out? And so they denied my grievance and said, no, you're not afforded any preparation. You're in the hole. And so I said, man, but I didn't do anything to be here. It's administrative. And they said, so it's crazy. It's like when I paroled, my parole agent had to come pick me up. And he had to pick me up from San Quentin. And because Corcoran is like down in LA and I'm from Oakland. So I'm getting paroled to the Bay. So they had to transfer me to Corcoran 3 days, from Corcoran 3 days before I was paroled to San Quentin. So, because they had to put an ankle monitor as soon as I got out, because I'm allegedly gang member, gang leader.
They think you're going to
Right.
out on the street and
Right.
call shots for the BGA.
Right, allegedly, right? So, typically you get $200 gate money when you get out, from, to help you transition back to the street. But because I was in Corcoran and I paroled from San Quentin,